As bases are improving, so is the attack strategy, and this is a really good example of how attack is evolving. And I think air defense is becoming air attack is becoming a bit more of a hybrid. So this attack is 2 golems, 2 lavas, and so 2 golems, the heroes, and some wizards for the hybrid part of the raid, plus some wall breakers. And then for the actual main part of the raid, it's using two lavas and 23 loons, because there's a loon and a lava in the CC. And you can see he's got 1 zap and 3 rages, 1 freeze. And I'll make a comment on that at the end of the thing, because I think there's probably a better combo for this base. But so first, you can see with this base, if you're going to use 2 golems, you need to take out probably more than an AD and the queen. I like to see people go for the Inferno, and that's what he's done here. He's got a pocket where he can bust this piece, he can bust his second layer, and possibly get to the Inferno. And you can see there's not too much in the pockets. There's a fair chance you'll get there, but you're going to trigger the CC. So with 2 golems, you need to carry a zap to wipe out most of the CC if you can. And I think there's a lot of Barch and Bam CCs around at the moment. I think we're going to see more wizards in them, because we're seeing a lot of zaps in the 3-star raids. Now let's have a look at how this starts off. So 2 golems, spread some wizards to just make sure the heroes go nice and straight. So he gets his queen to clear things out. Doesn't drop the wall breakers yet, so he gets his queen to clear out some of the pocket yet, but drops the wall breakers before the pocket's empty. Otherwise the wall breakers will go somewhere else. So second set of wall breakers behind the golems, and you can see, boom, opens the second pocket, and now CC gets activated. He'll let them bunch, and then once they're bunched, he'll zap. So he drops the zap, and he's still got some golem protection, and his heroes are sort of working their way through here. The queen's still got some health, got the queen ability, but that'll be enough to finish off the Inferno. So just pause there. So in terms of the first bit of the raid, you can see he's seen a clear path through to the Inferno with an AD and taking out the queen as well. There's a great example. Okay, it looks a tricky base. There's a great example of how to tackle it. Sure, you've got the CC, but carry a zap, and if they're not running many wizards, they're going to run into trouble. So now for the second part of his raid, so at the moment he's got 4. He's cleared out probably a third of the base, but a lot of the firepower. And now for the second half of the raid. So 1 point, 2 points, 3 point. Oh, actually, it's really 2 point drop. So a lava and sort of 2 point drop on the loons there. But you can see the lava's taking all of the fire of the archer tower with the angle he's dropped at archer tower and the wiz tower. So these loons are pretty much going through scot-free at the moment, I would think. Yeah, see the lava's taking the fire. Dropped sort of a bunch of loons around this part of the base with the lava coming in from this angle, the AD. And then he'll go rage, and freeze, and that's effectively taking out a lot of the defense. Now, I'm not sure, I guess the reason he's frozen the wiz tower there is because the lava had popped. If the lava hadn't popped, it might have been worth freezing over here. But given the lava's popped, he was smart to freeze the wiz tower, and that's probably the safer thing to do, given that wiz towers are pretty dangerous to your balloons. So 2 rages. Now, quite important here, he's dropped loons on the far side of the base. Why has he done that? Well, that will pull the wiz tower fire away from his main bunch of loons. Now, this is interesting. His choice of spell here, I actually think this is an error. Using a rage here, I think it's much better to use a freeze. If you're coming at a wiz tower and an AD with a bunch of balloons, the AD might take out 1 or 2, but the heal will basically bring up those balloons to full health and will basically neutralise the wiz tower, and then you'd have full health balloons for the rest of the raid. So I know he used the rage here. I think a heal's a better option, especially later in the raid tackling a wiz tower. So you can see his loons are under a bit of damage. They could probably do with a heal there, but they worked their way through, and he's still got enough loons to sort of finish off the base and make it through. So that's a really interesting hybrid, and I think that stronger hybrids on the first half will actually take out an Inferno are going to become increasingly the trend, because you take out an Inferno and you've pretty much got the base, because you can see there you've got 4 spells for the rest of the base, which basically makes it a gimme. So a great raid there by SeaAb, constantly 3-starring our boy SeaAb. I think he's over 500 stars at the moment, and a really good combination, 2 golems, 2 lavas. If used right, especially with a zap to kill a CC, it's a good way of tackling a centered CC base.